Live on the Milo Show, Jenny Jr. and Jackie Rainsticks.
Other's arms, we go on that day. In the shade we play, light dancing on our faces, looking like the cover of the Plastic Ono band. And we kiss, I kiss our kiss, dirty apple tree. Won't pass by who see you and me. They smile, they say how strong love can be. Holding me tightly, falling more in love. And we kiss, I kiss the apple tree. And we kiss, I kiss the apple tree. I kiss the apple tree, and we kiss, I kiss the apple tree.
Hey.
Woo! Feedback for that? That feedback. Is that a close out feedback?
I'm not a very graceful room enterer.
Yeah,
Did it look okay?
sashayed about the room, yes.
I feel like funny walking through doors. How's it going, Troy?
Good, thank you.
Oh man, welcome to my talk show.
Thank you.
I feel like I should try to introduce you, Troy, but there's a lot of ways I could introduce you. There's a lot of things that you do. There's a lot of things that you're known for. Songwriter,
Yes.
script writer, soundtrack scorer, bassist for hire, coffee lover,
Yeah.
storyteller.
Yeah. Got a lot of pies that have had my fingers in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that sounds horrible. Sorry.
What's
It's
new?
not starting off very well.
What? No, it's starting
Sorry.
off great. What's new? Because I know that you've been working on some music lately. So let's talk about what you've been working on.
I started something yesterday.
Oh, just yesterday.
That is veering away. There's there's this project I've been starting for the last couple of years, and I kind of abandoned. That I've recently embraced, and it's where my head's going to be at. Actually, my whole walk here was visualizing very much it. And it's an opera.
Oh.
It's something I want to put on as a theater performance, so, which is difficult because you got to pay people,
Sure.
and which I'd love to be able to do.
You'd like to put it in a theater with an orchestra? I mean, modest.
Yeah, it could be modest, or it could be incredibly stupidly grand too.
Sure.
It could be on a Circus du Soleil level, or it could be sidewalk preacher. I don't. It's in its phases right now.
Is this like Mozart Marriage of Figaro, or is it more like Klaus Nomi? I mean, where are we? How would you
Albenberg, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe not that Kurt Weill. I mean, I'm always saying the things that about an opera that I like, and so maybe a little bit more on that way. But then again, it's always nice not to think of anybody else when you're doing your stuff. You're not.
I mean, we really don't want to.
It's your musical tenure of rhythm or harmony and melody and texture or whatever and atmosphere. It's just nice to let them just be, able to run free, as they say, unbridled the horses over the hills thing. And so I do. And sometimes I don't know what it is until it's done.
Sure.
It's the creative process. It's always much more interesting, actually, than it's done, because then when it's done, say, if you're on the Pistons, when you're on the court, you're the basketball player. When you're posing for the cover of Wheaties, you're something else. I mean,
do you have a process?
it's they vary. They've been varying through time because you see which ones work well for particular moods, and what those particular moods, the results of them end up being. Lots of times it's making do with what's about. Like if you've got a song idea, and if it just happens to be the cellos around, grab the cello. If it happens to be the guitar, I'll grab that. Or if an idea comes while you're walking, you just slap your knee or whatever.
Sure.
And then there's times that it's nice to work almost mathematically. And on another opposite, or working like within things, like the record hopefully coming out. It's called Xaviera. Yeah, and it came out of a result of working within sevens.
Okay.
And there was actually originally 7 pieces, and all very long. And I realized when I started putting these online, people couldn't really digest them in that way, which is funny because I did a thing previously of 25 songs that were all a minute or a minute.
The snack
A
pack.
minute younger, yeah. Which I removed. I removed a lot
And
of that
I noticed
stuff.
that. You took everything down from your Bandcamp.
Yeah, I just thought, these days, people think it's just,
We can just take it
You
from
can just
your
always watch it. You can always listen to it.
Right, we can always just take everything.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the computer is the stereo. So once you already kind of put something on YouTube, it's basically the equivalent of you did put something in someone's record collection.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right.
People they hear it and stuff like this. But again, I was saying, I'd love to work with the orchestra. I have to pay them.
Right.
And I would not want to do a Kickstarter or any of those type of things and ask people for money. I'd rather have some work and lay that out there, and then hopefully they would want to purchase that to, for future endeavors as well as, shit like The Dentist. Can I swear on this? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Not
all
like,
the time.
Can I swear like, okay, I need to. I mean,
no.
if I accidentally, sorry about that.
No one's going to give a shit.
But, so the process in itself, so it was working with sevens. And this is where it initially just came up, was working with numbers. So, it's 7 dwarfs, you got your...
7 brothers, 7 brides.
Exactly. So Arpeggio sequences, you got 7 Sisters of the Pleiades was based on. And just from my interpretations of it, and then also for when it got down to the music itself, of what keys that they were in and what keys they were in related to whatever the mood was for the lyric in that sense. And then it was...
Just to try it, just as an experiment.
Yeah, and
shake things up.
And the results were really were interesting. And they all had 7 sections, and but I didn't. So it was like setting up this grid. But then after that, of what's gonna go into it. So it's kind of almost like building the muffin pan, but you can make so many different things. Okay, now it's what do I pour in here? Do I make, crab cakes or, gingerbread? It's that type of thing. And then that could completely change.
So you're somewhere between a chef and Dr. Frankenstein and Jackson Pollock.
I don't know. I think a lot of people write in that way, where it's just like it depends. From like when we have divine inspiration, say when you're like writing a story, where all of a sudden you just find yourself it's just coming,
right,
and everything, and you don't edit it. You don't do that. You go do that later. Or just or and that just comes back looking at it going, not that, whatever, something you wanted to make a little clearer, or maybe even purposely a little more not so clear, depending on what it is, the piece you're working on.
That presupposes thinking about an audience's response, though. I don't.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, like say if I'm doing a score for a film.
Yeah. Okay.
And the director says, I want them to know that they're the villain there, and just some certain look, and then maybe all of a sudden having a well of then you tend to use almost those kind of archetypal sound things to suggest danger or some romantic scene or something. So then you are very much writing for what that scene is. But then how you wish to go about that could be something else. And I think that does, though, for me, when it comes to not working on film scores and doing your own work, that there are times, because I'm human just like anybody else, that you do sometimes think, well, what's anyone going to think about this? Because you are planning on releasing it. And then sometimes that's hard, because then I think when I find myself in that mode, I do lose a lot of the need, the internal need, the unwritten need to want to do it.
The want or the inspiration. That's something that's ineffable in you.
I just want to shut off at that point, and not put something out. It's strange. It's like, it's never. So it is never the same thing. But there are obviously, working within a musical framework. Mm-hmm. You could choose work within the diatonic scale. And you could choose to go out of that and work with more harmonic or 12-tone or any other various things, and other ones you're not privy to, and other ones that you thought you invented, and then, oh no, I didn't. Someone else came up with that system too. That's your Pythagorean scales or whatever. And the interpretations are so out of your hands. Even if you just drill it, I find that there will be someone, still won't kind of get, and that's not any detriment to them, because I'm sure there's plenty of things that, I've interpreted much different from what perhaps the author or composer intended. Right. Because you only relate things to your perspective. Everything's down to your perspective, and your perspective as it continues rolling down the hill throughout your life. So
that's a pit I can't not fall into. I always fall into asking the artist for their intent, and I think it's just
and the intent.
What are you saying with this piece?
And sometimes a lot of people's just intent is, well, I just needed to do this, and here it is. Kind of like it's interesting if you go to the flea markets or something, and you see someone sitting there and I made angel figurines out of forks. And I always feel compelled to, even though I'm not really interested in angel motifs made out of forks, I almost feel like, especially if they're just sitting there by themselves, because you know how much time it took them to do it,
right,
and stuff like that, and you kind of feel bad if no one's around it, but you kind of look and okay, and they smile at you, and they're gonna buy it and stuff, and it's kind of how I feel as a musician sometimes. It's like I'm making angels out of forks.
If you've not yet had the privilege of hearing Mountain Club, we bring you that opportunity today. Please enjoy Mountain Club.
Masturbation 101.
What about the opera? Have intents or intentions
Yeah,
materialized
yeah,
or manifested there?
Yeah. I mean, of course, you know, there's the intention. The intention of that just came from it. It wasn't like, oh, I want to do an opera. It was this, you know, because you don't. When it comes down to it, I mean, when you're talking in social situations, you use terms like opera, new wave, you know, punk, surf, whatever, and stuff. But when it comes down to actually, right. But when it comes down to actually dealing with sound and music, and the result of, I guess, of sound, arranging it and stuff like this, again, it's just nice not to have any parameters. So it just kind of comes a feeling where I feel like I have this story and I would like to see it played out, and the score with it, and then the libretto and everything like that. When I started coming, then I started realizing, okay, yeah, well, the best way to describe it is an opera, but then it might not even turn out anything at all like that.
Sure.
So people do music for different reasons, and I can't speak for anyone else but myself and why I've been doing this or involved with it my entire life, and so. You know, and I think a lot of the working on it is sometimes is to ask yourself the question of why am I doing this? It's the idea of making a living at it. Sometimes I do just want to slap myself in the face. What am I thinking? You know what I mean?
Don't stop though.
Well, I'm not.
Good,
I mean, probably not. But then again, at the same time, I've got way more things on hard drives and cassettes and stuff like that than I've ever released. I mean, there's hundreds of things. Just came from, you know, sitting at a 4-track, or now these days actually the Mac, for hours and just creating things. And then, you know, then it's interesting because you figure, well, I'll go back to that. Then you find some external hard drive that has all these things, and you're like, oh God, I don't even want to go there, because you're more interested in what you're doing right now in the present moment, because that's part of the process in itself too. It's just not. For me, again, personally, I only speak myself. It is the idea of doing this and being a musician. It's because I like to deal with music.
Right.
I like to deal with sound, and so hence I became a musician. Then I like to perform it. Oh, now you're a performer. Right. You know, you like to write stories. Oh, you're a writer now.
Right.
You know, and that type of stuff. I like to draw. Oh, you got some paintings.
Now you're
painting. You
now
know,
you're a
and
composer.
wearing these caps.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting because I've been trying to find a point of all these things, these forms of expressions I like to get all together. But you're working on yourself, and you're, you know, in a lot of ways, you're, you know, just like anybody, you have your self-doubts, you have things about yourself you don't like or haven't liked, and, you know, or anything, and social things, feeling socially awkward, or making someone feel bad with family things, whatever, you know, just so much your personal health, just the way you look at the world unfolding around you, and your interpretation and your perspective of that, finding how much of your perspective has already been calculated and constructed, but very much a glass house. And still reworking yourself. So it's almost like, you know, you pay to know what you really think type deal. And so it's, you know, sometimes I wish it was just like, well, I'm just going to write some songs and get out and play and have a good time, you know, that type of thing. It's rather than being so damn, you know. But I found, again, and that wasn't a choice, I found that was what I was doing throughout time musically, and where my interest lies. Where I was gravitating towards certain sounds, a certain kind of feelings, certain kind of communication, moods, and lyric was very indicative of what was going on in my life at that time, whether I was where I was living or what's going on in family or anything, you know what I mean?
Well, if you found what's worked, I shouldn't question it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's worked. It's working. I mean, it's always in tow. You know,
Right.
we're a planet going through a vortex, careening through space, and I think that's very much what's kind of going on in the microcosm as well. It's learning about yourself and the world around you. I mean, that thing with the sevens, it was an experiment that that its results would not be apparent to probably the listener. It was more me doing it.
But now they know.
Yes.
Thanks, Troy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good to see you, man. Oh.
Cheers.
Cut.
Yeah, this is episode 7, by the way.
Oh! I didn't even chime in on that. That's
Far
fine.
out.
You know, the thing about being a talk show host is there's no way you're not going to just feel like an asshole in front of people. But performing live on the Milo Show, Ancient Language, a song from their new EP, Everybody Forgives Everyone for Everything, out later this month.
Yeah, dog. I'm ready, dog. Almost quit time. One more hour to go.
I wanna go, say, I wanna go.
Almost quit time.